Hey everyone, just back here with a new update. I decided to trade in my 22 Toyota Tundra for a Ford F-150. The reason being is, honestly, the Tundra just it fell short for my expectations. I wasn't totally satisfied like I felt like I should be with a new truck. I do love Toyotas. I think Toyota's just an awesome brand. I think they build stuff good. But for me, the Tundra just had a few shortcomings that I wasn't pleased with overall, such as the ride comfort, the stiffness of the ride. The seats felt a little stiff as well, or too firm, and so there's some of those things where I feel like I was a little unsatisfied, and I think for that it was because the Tundra went from having the cabin it had in 2021, and the truck got longer, got a little bit wider, and then it got smaller inside, which, I mean, it was okay. Like, it didn't feel too bad when you're inside it, but it definitely had a lower seating position, which isn't a deal breaker either. You can raise the seat and get comfortable, but I do feel like Toyota had to make a lot of compromises with the Tundra. I think that's just the direction they're heading with their whole global platforms and trying to be efficient and save money as a company and make money as a company, because they want to just interchange parts, and according to them, that creates more reliability. And I mean, that's their goal. That's fine. But for me, as a consumer, as a customer, I felt like the F-150 was a better purchase for me. I test drove all the competition. I found myself coming back to the F-150, and I'm not like a Ford guy, but and to be frank, I was a little nervous buying Ford, because if you go look at any of the reports and stuff out there, generally Ford suffers more than the rest when it comes to reliability ratings and things like that. But I mean, I think sometimes you just gotta give it a try. At least in my situation, I just thought, I'll try it out and see how it goes. If it's a negative experience, and that's that. But I'm coming into it with an open mind. So, and frankly, driving this truck, initial impressions are it's better than the Toyota Tundra. It has a better ride, has better comfort inside. It has a roomier cabin. It just has some cool features. Like, it has the outside, the mud lamps or whatever. When you walk up to the truck, the light comes on under the mirrors. I press this button here, and it'll turn on all the LED lights, the interior cabin lights, and it's actually got good lighting inside, which the Tundra suffered from. It was lacking in that area. So I feel like for me, going to the F-150 felt good, made sense, and outside of that, yeah, the Tundra just, in my opinion, it fell short. I know I had some electrical gremlins, as I like to call them. I was having some issues with the Apple CarPlay infotainment system. The windows sliding up and down when there was snow or ice accumulated on, not ice, but I mean like just melted water when you're driving in the winter. And so there's a few small things like that. That stuff didn't really push me away from the Tundra, because I know that's all like stuff that can be fixed and addressed or repaired. But for me, it was more things that you permanently have to live with, which is the ride comfort and the stiffness of the ride. Those are things that, I can attempt to change, but I don't really want to. Like, I did test drive that new Tundra when I bought it, and when I test drove it, I thought it rode better when I was on the highway at speed, and you couldn't really feel a lot of that jitteriness or stiffness at the time. Then once I had it, and I drive choppier roads at slower speeds and things like that, then I started to see what it was like to live with the Tundra full time. And for me, that's just things that I think I value a little more, and I think that I also think that Ford builds and sells hundreds of thousands of more F-150s than Toyota does or whatever. So if Ford has, even if 10% of their trucks have problems or 15% have problems that are like outside of the norm, you're going to hear about it more than you will about a Toyota, because there's that many more people, there's that many more trucks built and sold and everything. And the reality is doing research on every new truck out there and every new offering that you could go look at, not one of them is scot-free in terms of problems. Not even the Toyota Tundra, not even the prior generation Toyota Tundra. It's just you have less chances of having something going wrong, but they all have their pros and cons. And for me, the F-150, this F-150 with the Tremor package stood out to me because it had a better ride than my Tundra. It had a better approach angle than the Tundra. It had a higher ride, a bit of a bigger lift and stuff. So for me, coming to this F-150 with a Tremor package was easier for me to do, because things that, like I mentioned before, that I cared about, that were high on my list for priority, was the ride comfort and how the truck and the chassis and all that, how they handle bumps on the road and things like that. And quite frankly, the Ford F-150 handles the road very well, and that's very important to me, because if you do go driving on back roads and things like that, the last thing you want is your truck just really getting thrown around, smacked around. I mean, so that's what it boiled down to for me. I still think the Tundra is a solid offering. Another thing that was just a big disappointment too with the Tundra was no front recovery hooks. I just, there's no absolving Toyota of that oversight. Like, I just don't understand how they don't give recovery hooks to the Toyota Tundra, or to even the TRD. If you get the TRD off-road package, you should have recovery hooks. Same with the Pro. So to me, that's just a huge drawback with the Tundra. It just doesn't make sense that they expect you to go aftermarket and deal with all the headaches associated with going aftermarket. Finding the piece you want, ordering it, getting it installed, making sure it doesn't void your warranty stuff, making sure it still works with all the safety equipment system stuff that comes standard. So to me, that was a big negative drawback. And quite frankly, I feel way better with this choice of the F-150. And I was nervous getting into it, but time will tell. I'm really just, at this point, I'm not as concerned about the reliability and things like that for the F-150, because I see a lot of them out there. I see a lot of them being sold with high mileage. I see people who've taken care of their EcoBoosts and have gotten to high mileage, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for me doing the maintenance stuff and everything. So all that being said, there's why I left the 22 Toyota Tundra. If there's other things that I remember that I forgot to bring up here, I'll make sure to bring those up. But so far, the F-150, just a quick recap for me, has a better ride. I actually really like the styling and the looks. The Tundra looked to be a little low, even though I know it was taller than the last Tundra. I think it's because the body is lower and it's meant to be for aerodynamics and things. But this F-150 with the Tremor package, I believe, had better aesthetics. You know, it had I like the body more and everything, the tires, the wheels and the tires and stuff, and even the interior, you know, just being inside of it, it feels like an upgrade from the Tundra, and the ride quality. So those were reasons for me to go to the F-150 Tremor. And the reasons against the Tundra, you know, stiff ride, seats were more uncomfortable, and no front recovery hooks, those kinds of things. To me, I didn't really want to have to go aftermarket, and I just, like I said, you know, I could have made a more comfortable ride if I wanted to do some more permanent changes, like change the shocks, the suspension, even the cab mounts. Could have looked at trying to change those, and I did inquire with the dealership with the Toyota dealership, to see if they could order those hydraulic cab mounts and look at installing them, and they said they couldn't do that. So for me, it was just one of those things where I decided to go a different way, and I decided to go with the F-150 after testing them all, and the F-150 feels like a strong choice. So thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye.